Turn our attention to ANC politics now, and suspended Secretary General Ace Magashule will be taking his party to court over his suspension. Now, in court papers filed, Magashule argues that he's being targeted, in fact, by the party's NEC and specifically ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa. He has until today to apologise for attempting to suspend Ramaphosa without a mandate. If he doesn't, he could face even further disciplinary action. Govan Whittles outside Luthuli House for us in Johannesburg, joining us from there now. Hello to you, Govan. Do we know if Magashule will make the deadline for this all-important apology?
At this point, it seems unlikely, Gareth, and while some of those people who were close to him are saying that he may apologize, but not specifically for everything that he did. Others are saying that by apologizing, he would be acknowledging that he was wrong. And as far as we understand, Ace Magashule maintaining that the decision he took to suspend the ANC president was within his power as Secretary General. The organization, of course, saying he had no mandate to do that decision. It was a flagrant abuse of the party's constitution. So at this point, it doesn't look like Ace Magashule will apologize, but it should indicate how much support he has within the ANC if he refuses to do so, or if he does indeed. Our assessment has been that his support is in rapid decline within the party, and while we're seeing this court challenge that's being launched by him directly, that's even further indication of the people that were close to him no longer willing to go to court on his behalf. And we do know that in the Eastern Cape, where he was once a significant powerhouse commanding a lot of influence in the branches in the north of the province, that has changed, and that appears to be due to the way that the dynamics of the province have shifted, and Ace Magashule no longer being the main conduit perceived as granting access to state resources, therefore people vying for power in those factions. I spoke to one of the ANC's Free State activists about what kind of support Magashule has in the province. Let's have a look at that now.
Ace as an individual has never been supported. What has been supported has been the African National Congress, and clearly the man exploited the support that is there for the ANC in its founding province as if it is his personal support. And we need to draw a clear distinction whether it is personal support or whether it is support for him as an individual. But the ANC, in its form and character, has always been mass-based, and unfortunately, certain people has exploited the mass base and the mass support that the ANC enjoys on the ground, and try to turn it as if it is support for themselves as individuals.
Well, Govan, Magashule also saying that he's being targeted by the ANC NEC, the National Executive Committee. Now, what does this mean for his place in that party going forward?
Well, it definitely means that he's set himself up as an opponent of many of the people within the NEC. Our understanding is that he's now completely isolated, at least in the top six, even though the DSG, Jesse Duarte, does appear to still have some influence and is sympathetic to his cause as the Secretary General. But it does appear, for all intents and purposes, that Magashule here would be fighting to remain in his position as Secretary General, and if he refuses to apologize, that fight would become much bigger, and it would be a fight for him to stay in the ANC. This, as many of the people within the ANC's broader structures, specifically the eNCA National Council, have called for the NEC to start the process to expel him. But while we know that Ace Magashule believes he was the intended target of the step-aside decision, what we have seen in the NEC, in the provinces as well, is growing discontent with the step-aside decision and increasing caution about how this decision could be implemented and what its implications are for the ANC in the short term up to the local government elections, but also in the longer term up to its next conference in 2022. So the step-aside decision is proving to be a thorn in the side of not only Ace Magashule, but a number of leaders within the NEC and the ANC more broadly, and even those who are allied to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Let's have a look at what one analyst had to say about this decision.
The entire resolution was conceived in mischief for mischievous purposes. It was entirely unnecessary. Let us look at Ace Magashule. Let us look at Leona Kleinans, the person who started the asbestos case, which is what Ace Magashule is charged for. In 2015, the Auditor General made a decision, a finding that these transactions on the asbestos case are irregular, and so on and so forth. No member of the ANC charged anybody anywhere for that. They did not charge Ace Magashule through their own disciplinary process. This idea of charging Ace Magashule for the same facts is very, very recent, very recent. And the people who were actively pursuing that, this Dugwana in the Free State, he was there. The thing that Leona Kleinans of the DA did could have been done by Lungile Dugwana. Why didn't he do it? Oscar Mabuyane, why didn't they lay charges against Magashule? Why didn't they put him through the disciplinary process? And many, many other people that we all know are heavily implicated in the irregular removal of funds from the state and also failure to oversee the funds of the state and the use of those funds.
Oh, you'll wait to see what happens with this deadline. Just meters outside the door of Luthuli House, my colleague Govan Whittles for us in Johannesburg. Back to him later here on eNCA.